SuperTalk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any concept.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning to you. How you doing? On a Tuesday morning, Dave Hughes here. A little foggy out there in spots. A lot foggy out there in other spots, so drive carefully. Don't, just as an example, drive like a lot of the people were driving around me when I came to work. I was not impressed. Gotta work on that a little bit. But it's okay, even in the fog, even with all those other people that don't know how to drive. You and I both know that you and I are the only people that know how to drive. Everybody else just being silly. Oh, you've noticed that. You've probably made comments to that extent, so you know what I'm talking about. Fog, yeah, it's going to burn off in the next little while, and then we'll move on. Tonight, fog coming back. Tomorrow night, fog coming back. And then Thursday, especially Thursday night, we get a chance of rain moving in. 50% chance Thursday night, 70% chance Friday, and then we're going to have a chance of rain basically all the way through the weekend into the start of next week. So get everything waterproofed. Make sure you've got your floaties ready to go just in case. Shouldn't be that much. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. And we will stay warm. So before the calls begin, no, there is no chance of snow this weekend. You laugh. If I had a nickel for every time I've been asked that when it was 80 degrees outside, I would have hundreds of dollars at this point. No snow this weekend. All right. Yesterday, the city of McComb, of course, now conducting all business through special call meetings. Well, they're not, but it feels like it, doesn't it? And guess what? Got another one coming today. No, I'm not joking. We'll get into that here in just a moment. I kind of had an all-star lineup at last night's special call meeting, which several people had to attend from the board via phone because they didn't find out about as Selectwoman Baylor said at one point, she didn't find out about the 5 o'clock meeting until 5:02. Just wasn't notified. And the mayor apologized for everyone not getting notified. Selectman Thompson, same way. It just feels like we're We're kind of making it up as we go. We're shooting from the hip. We're I'll just go ahead and say it, not very professional, are we? No, we're not. Also, the internet seems to be coming back up. I don't know if you heard about that. Richard was talking about it. Richard and Lance were talking about it earlier this morning. A service called Cloudflare went down. And a lot of websites use Cloudflare to send their internet traffic through to manage things and to deliver the various content to people. Well, it went down. There were reports this morning, haven't seen a follow-up yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be coming out later today. Cloudflare said they saw what they referred to as an unusual spike in traffic before it went down. I think they got hit by a DDoS. And it's just another great example of why consolidation is a horrific idea. How long have we had the phrase, don't put your eggs all in one basket? That phrase developed for a reason. You have no backup plan. Last month, if you recall, Amazon Web Services went down and probably 70% of the internet just shut off until they got it back up. When you have one choke point like that, we'll call it a choke point, makes it really easy to take the whole thing out. But no, in the interest of profits, the heck with security, the heck with safety, the heck with functionality. We got to squirm it all into one big box. And then get surprised when somebody sets the box on fire. Well, we didn't see this coming. Yeah, you did. You didn't care. By the way, that's a sentiment and a sentence that are applicable to a lot of things in life right now. We got a lot of eggs in very few baskets. Some are going to get cracked. And before you say, well, you know, Dave, I don't use the internet like that. Don't affect me. Wait until you try to go watch TV and it's not working. Wait until you try to check your bank balance and it's not working. Wait until you go to pay a bill and their website's not working. The majority of people this directly affects. And your immediate reaction of, well, I don't do any of that. I do things the old-fashioned way like they did, 100 years ago. Well, great. You're not in the majority. You're nowhere close. And I just personally think we have enough chaos on planet Earth right now, and especially in America. We ought to diversify this stuff a little bit. Don't worry, you give it about an hour, I'm sure Gerard will be around to explain how this was a wonderful thing that happened because it's capitalism at work. Right up until it stops working, then it's a problem. Should be interesting as a tech guy to hear his take on this. When we come back, we've got audio from last night's special call meeting of the McComb City Board of Mayor and Selectmen. Gonna have another one today, right before the work session. Last night, somebody asked him when today's special call would be, and he said 5:20. So it's expected to be teeny tiny. And it should be. You'll find out why they did all the talking last night when we continue on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County right after this. Keep it here.
When a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. Ladies, your health is your priority, and the Women's Health Center in McComb is here to support you. We're thrilled to announce the return of Dr. Ann Vu. Dr. Vu joins our dedicated team, including Dr. Kevin Richardson, nurse practitioner Shayla Stanberry, and midwife Tara Givens. From routine checkups to specialized care, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Schedule your appointment today. Visit us at 1318 Harrison Avenue or call 601-684-2300. The Women's Health Center, where your well-being comes first.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have to pray. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon or Apple, or just right there on the page.
Seems like each time I'm with you I lose my mind, because I'm bending over backwards to relate. It's one thing to complain, but when you're driving me insane, well then I think it's time that we took a break. Maybe we're just trying too hard, when really it's closer than it is too far. 'Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head, instead of going under. 'Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep.
Welcome back, Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County. 93.5. All right, last night we had our special call meeting of the McComb City Board of Mayor and Selectmen, and the topic, as you might expect, was the fact that we have no place to store our prisoners. The storage shed behind City Hall starting to fill up. There's not much other option. But maybe there is. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, let's start where I think you should start, the beginning. And we start there with Pike County Board of Supervisors attorney Brandon Frazier presenting the proposal that the Board of Supervisors made to the city of McComb to try to bring a resolution to the whole kerfluffle over taking McComb prisoners to the Pike County Jail.
We've got a proposal here that's been discussed, and I'll break it down for you guys. There is, I actually have a proposal, and I also have a memorandum of understanding. I don't know which one you got.
They have the MOU.
You have the MOU. Okay. Well, the MOU is based on the proposal that I originally prepared, and I'm gonna try to simplify it for you. Basically, the daily rate of the sheriff's office, $40 a day. That's for the first 30 and 4 days, 31 and beyond, $40 a day.
Which was the original agreement amount. Just wanted to point that out. As Pike County Sheriff Wally Jones had expressed last week, it cost the county $55 a day to house a prisoner. They had proposed $40 a day. Then the city came back and said, no, we just want to pay $32 a day. Why don't we do that? And that led to all of the nonsense that has been going on. So the new proposal, since the city didn't like $40 a day, well, how about $40 a day? No, literally. But then again, as everybody has started to angle it, it wasn't about the daily rate to begin with. I don't know why we were asking to lower it then, but it wasn't about the daily rate at all.
And that is broken down based on the state 25 and 3271, plus in-house medical screenings and in-house medical services. And so those are in-house medical services. Third-party medical services will be billed separately, as it always has been. So we have one flat rate. I think the previous interlocal agreement for the last 10 years was $40 for the first day and $30 for each additional day, so it's about $10 difference. The big issue, and the one that we're here really to talk about today, is not necessarily the rate, but the days of billing. And that is the important one. And the mayor came to the board of supervisors meeting, and he addressed that with the board. And so the board has discussed it with me, and we have come back with a proposal, basically. And here it is.
All right. Now it's going to get a little more complicated as he explains this, but not really, if you pay attention.
McComb will pay for housing for all their prisoners. In other words, if y'all try someone, find someone guilty, you pay for misdemeanor prisoners. The big issue is what happens when a felony affidavit is filed. Felony affidavit is filed, then your municipal judge will bind the case over to the Pike County grand jury for consideration. The grand jury hasn't determined.
Just a moment.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Thompson wants the number to call in. I'm sorry.
That's no problem. We'll wait for Eddie.
Selectman Thompson, I would assume, texted Select Woman at Large to ask for the phone number to call in to attend on the phone. As you hear, we're already underway. But again, that's not Selectman Thompson's fault. It's not Selectwoman Baylor's fault. Because not everybody got notified of the latest last-second special call meeting. This is I think this is the third one in the last week or two. Another one coming today. So I had a pause in the activity here of a minute or two because we had to get Selectman Thompson dialed in, literally, and then we continue.
So, okay, we got a felony affidavit. All right, this is where the big rub has been. The Russian opinion says that the city wouldn't pay for them until they were indicted. Then the Attorney General opinion comes back and says, nope, the city pays for them until they're bound over. That's the latest Attorney General's opinion. So we're back and forth on Attorney General's opinion. So we've come up with a interim. So the county will take it over and pay it after they've been bound over, except in two cases. When McComb issues an order to bind a municipal detainee over to the Pike County grand jury for consideration, there's a couple things that can happen. They can be either indicted, no bill, or remanded to circuit court. If they're indicted, Pike County will pick up the bill after they're bound over from y'all's city court.
And just to explain, with the grand jury, he's saying indicted, that's called a true bill with the grand jury. So you've got a true bill and a no bill. I only say that to make no bill make a little more sense to you there. If the grand jury returns an indictment, that is a true bill. If the grand jury says, no, you don't have enough evidence to take this case forward, that's a no bill. Or the grand jury can take a case and go, hey, there's something here, but it's not a felony. Just send that back to circuit court. So that's the three options that Brandon Fraser is talking about here. Just want to make sure we're straight on all the terms.
If they're bound over from city court and the case is no bill, McComb picks up that charge.
And stop. Let us stop. No bill usually means that the case has not been properly prepared and all that. And that falls back on us and our investigation division within our police department.
Yep.
Okay. I want people to understand that.
Right. Understand it is what we're doing is this is a case that if the grand jury finds there shouldn't have been an affidavit to begin with, it's the other situation is where the grand jury decides that this is not a felony, this is a misdemeanor. It's remanded back to the McComb City Court. And we also think that the city should pay for if it's remanded back to city court if it was never supposed to be a felony to begin with. And that's holding everyone accountable not to overcharge individuals as felons if they really shouldn't be felons. So if it's no bill or remanded in municipal court, the county would like for the city to pay for those incarceration days. But if they're indicted on a felony, the county will pay for all incarceration days after bound over.
Yes, sir. Did somebody get off? Okay, we have Selectman Thompson now also on the telephone. Let me say this also.
Okay, so the plan is $40 a day, which is the amount that was previously agreed to. The county basically will only pick up any of the cost of housing the prisoners if they are bound over to the grand jury, if they're indicted, basically. Beyond that, no, still the city's bill. This reminds me an awful lot of what just happened on the national stage with the federal government shutdown. When over 40 days, with everything closed down, air travel impacted for everybody flying, all sort of SNAP benefits not going out, and what the Democrats managed to secure with that 40-day stonewalling of funding the federal government was they got a guarantee from the Republicans in Congress to hold a vote on the thing they had already guaranteed they were going to hold a vote on before the shutdown happened. This kind of has the same flavor. We have gone through all of this nonsense for what? Exactly. This is not that complicated of an issue. The price is staying the same. Now, all of a sudden, we're fine with the city in 2 of the 3 possible cases for a prisoner in, 4, because if they're just arrested for a misdemeanor crime and taken to jail, McComb pays for it, as they should. If they get indicted, well, the county picks it up once they are bound over to grand jury. If it's no billed, or if it's just remanded back to a lower court, the city continues to pick up the bill. So what was gained by all of this? By all of the showboating? By all of the mayor showing up at the Board of Supervisors meeting? What did we get out of it, and was it worth the nonsense we've gone through? The answers, as near as I can tell, are not much and no. Let's get back to the mayor's explanation, shall we?
To my board members, we have put things in place. We hired Luckett. We've increased our investigation. We want to increase them more. We're trying to eliminate some of the cases that go to the jail, and Luckett has helped us out already with several cases. We want to continue to do those type of things that would eliminate the possibility of inmates or detainees being sent down to our county jail. So we're working on that. We're trying to improve. We're improving, but we can do more to reduce that number.
In other words, do the investigation properly, get everything the way it should be, and have fewer mistakes. I think that's everybody's goal in life, right? So nothing unreasonable there. But in this particular case, the mistakes are costing the city money in terms of housing prisoners. Not to mention the fact that if you arrest someone and you present the case and it doesn't go anywhere, it gets no billed, usually something gets no bill because there's not enough evidence, because the grand jury, as a veteran of that a couple of times, the grand jury does not decide guilt or innocence. That's not the function of the grand jury. The grand jury is there to do one thing: to determine if prosecution has enough evidence to reasonably be expected to get a conviction at trial. That's basically it. When it comes to cases being presented to the grand jury, they're not saying they did it, they didn't do it. No, it's not the point. It's not the function of the grand jury. They are deciding whether or not there's enough evidence in the case to get a conviction. It's a little more complicated than that, but not really, not much. So when you go through the motions and you take someone and you stick them in jail for a month, 2 months, 3 months, their life comes to a screeching halt. Everybody else, well, we're having to pay for the housing of prisoners. The jail's overcrowded. And then it gets there and the case is not put together well enough to convince a grand jury that you can get a conviction on it. Well, they get turned loose. And once again, what happened? What was the end result of all of that? Nothing. That's not good. Don't misunderstand. Mistakes happen. And it depends on the grand jury. There's a lot of different things it depends on. But the fact that the mayor just went through that about how we're putting this into place and that into place, we've got this into place, and we're doing this now, and we're doing that to cut down on some of these problems, kind of gives you the impression this was a problem. And that has to be brought under control. Still waiting to find out what all of this nonsense for the last week or two about taking prisoners to the Pike County Jail was about. What was the result? What do we always talk about? We don't go by the process. We don't go by making ourselves feel good because we're fighting the good fight. We go by results. That's what you and I look at. What was the result of all of this that we basically didn't already have? That's the question in my mind.
And that's really the major change, guys. Everything else remains the same. The prisoner transport is still, I believe, $30 for prisoner transport. That remains the same. We also request that a representative for the city of McComb attend every census of the Pike County Detention Facility, which the census is conducted by the circuit court, and we ask that the city of McComb have someone there because the judge talks about the status of the cases of people who have been down in 90 days.
Okay, select woman, Isaac.
You said transport. Now, I thought the last meeting we had, we was told that we have to do our own transport. In the last meeting.
We came back.
Select woman Tabitha Felder Isaac. At least 60% dialed in to most of the conversations.
Came back and we reworded that. Mm-hmm. We did. Initially, it was that, but we came back and reworded it.
It was a fix of this ensuring that somebody was there
to
receive the detainee, and you all agreed to fix it, and we've done a good with that so far, so we see no need to change it.
Right. There's a provision here that once the detainee is delivered to the court, there's certain types of custody that has to take over. I believe that was the issue. So
and in the MOU or the proposal, there is a time limit of 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's more than adequate for if they pull up in the salad court to have someone there to receive the inmate or whatever. I think 15 minutes is adequate.
Also, I think we're pre-call before we even bring them, right? So again, there's a call before they come and when they get there, that time, because again, we had issues with the jailers waiting and they need to get back and do other transports. So
that's correct.
It's correct.
Like I said, we're trying to correct many of the little hiccups that happen. We just need people to work with us.
From what I'm hearing here, and check me on this, basically the mayor's admitting McComb's been messing up. Been not providing the proper evidence and details and case structure to get a grand jury to indict. Going by the fact that he came right out and admitted, well, we've hired Mr. Luckett and we put other things in place to make sure we cut down on that, which means it was a problem. Now, again, he's talking about... So, after all of this, one of the major takeaways is McComb has been a mess. Raise your hand if you're remotely surprised at this revelation. go back to the audio.
Also, there's medical transport. We talked about that, and that our bill for medical transport, which has always been included. One thing that I did include in the MOU, and this is to y'all's advantage, but it also makes this not an interlocal agreement. It says that that you guys, if you would like, you can, and this is on Section 9. The City of McComb may decline to utilize the services provided by this MOU. So if you have somewhere else you want to take your prisoners, you're welcome to do that if you'd like. It doesn't lock you in. So,
okay. I'm looking at that now.
So McComb being given the option to go somewhere else if they'd like to. We're going to get back to that. Remember that.
But yeah, they're responsible for this, but they can utilize this.
Okay, so it's options.
It's optional. Everything's optional. If you guys decide y'all want to do your own transport, you can do your own transport. I've left it in there where if you want to do your own transport, that's totally okay. But if you want to use the sheriff's transport, it's $30. So I'm trying to make it as flexible as possible to try to satisfy everyone until we get this all nailed down. So, yes. The municipality is responsible for transport, but if you want to utilize the sheriff's services, it's
available.
It's available. It's like Uber, $30. $30 Uber to you to the jail. So there you go.
Okay, Selectman Todd.
So, Chief Deputy,
yes.
You know, in my opinion, I don't know if our attorney will allow us to vote on this language tonight.
Oh, and that's why they're coming back today to make sure all the T's are dotted and the I's are crossed. You may think that was a funny joke. No, according to the continuous apologies from the mayor in that long speech, apparently there have been errors, mistakes, mishandlings, if you will. Now, you heard the comment from Pike County Board of Supervisors Board Attorney Brandon Frazier about how, the city of McComb has options that are included in there. If you decide you want to take a prisoner somewhere else, do it. Let's go because the McComb chief of police was called up. Everybody got a chance to talk before the meeting was over. We can't get to all of them because it was over an hour long. But McComb police chief was called up. He's one of the principal people in this discussion, so wanted to make sure we heard from him.
Board, I just want to say, because of the action, I have made several provisions to make sure that the jail and these criminals are being put away. I want the public to know that the sheriff and I have no issues personally or even work at all. It's a board issue, totally. But
now, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the chief refer to Sheriff Wally Jones as being immature and wanting to take his ball and go home? But I'll tell you what, you can go home, but you're leaving the ball here. And now we're hearing there's no issue. It's strictly a board issue. Okay.
Because of the sheriff decision, I had to make provision to make sure that the city rolls. There are options. I have checked with other agencies, other counties. Everybody pretty much doing their own thing. Several counties that's close, like Amite County and Walthall, are kind of full, so they're not taking. Copiah County he has opened up his jail. He said he charged $28 a flat rate, and it end at Bound Over. So they're
okay. $28 for a flat rate. $12 less than the new flat rate being offered by the Pike County Sheriff's Department. Now, you're talking about Copiah County, okay? How far is it round trip? How much are the transport costs going to be? Because when we talk about transport, you got to realize, you got to remember, That's not just getting them to and from the jail. No, you got to get them to and from court appearances. You got to get them to and from doctor's appointments. And especially in the court appearances, those happen in Pike County. They're a Pike County prisoner. So somebody has to go get them from Copiah County and bring them back. And then when the court, action, whatever, the court hearing is over, you got to load them up and take them back to Copiah County to return to the jail if you got a prisoner there. In terms of billable hours, wear and tear and depreciation on the vehicles, gasoline alone, is that still going to be less than 40? Because you're starting at 28 before you add all of that, making round trips back and forth to Copiah County. That's about what? About a 40-minute drive? Basically, one way. So you're looking at an hour and a half's driving time to save $12 an hour. But when you factor the cost in, have you saved anything? That's my question. I don't know. Haven't done the math. I can't be bothered at this point because this whole thing has gotten ridiculous. You have to factor the total complete cost of the option that you choose and figure out what is best. Also, how many prisoners can Copiah County accept? Is it just a blank check, open door? All you can send, we'll take them and ask for more? Is that the situation? If not, if you go with them as a sole provider on this, what do you do when they get full? Where are you going? What you doing? It's a little more complicated than just the sticker price. There's all sorts of add-ons and extra and supplies and everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it that I think, just quoting the price oversimplifies it in my eyes. But hey, McComb police chief, they stopped taking his prisoners. He had to go looking for something. So good on him. You got to do that in this particular situation. So good job. Not criticizing that effort or what he found out at all. I'm just saying, let's not look at it as the golden remedy to all the city of Macomb City's problems when it comes to prisoners until we run the numbers.
There's nothing. It ends there. So there are options. Whereas I like the plan here because they keep us working together. It's closer, but there are other options. So I just want that to be known.
Okay. Putting the S at the end of option, one small criticism here, makes it sound like there's more than one. What's the rest of them? There are options. You told us of one. You told us of two others who aren't accepting our prisoners or anybody's prisoners. So there is another option is accurate. If there are more options, well, let's hear those too. Might be a great deal in there somewhere. Might be something that we want to jump on. Just, this entire thing is stupid. I'm not referring to the chief. I'm not referring to the sheriff. I'm not referring to anything other than this entire fiasco has been ridiculous. No reason for it. No call for it. And again, what do we go by? Results. What result are we getting that we couldn't have gotten without it reaching this point? What? You cannot nickel and dime your way to success. Doesn't work that way. Never has, especially when it comes to the important things, especially in a place, in a time where crime is one of the hot topics. One of the things that's most important to the taxpayers and voters in the city of Macomb. That's what you choose to play with. Not sure that's a good idea. Not sure that was a smart move, especially when you get to the end. And what result did you get? How much are you saving? Let's have a number. No sweeping generic statements like sales tax revenues are up 50% year over year from last year. We get stuff all the time that says basically that. That tells you nothing semantically. Same thing with this. I don't want to hear generic, general, sweeping brags about how this is going to save the city a lot of money. How much? And if you don't know, why were you fighting so hard if you haven't run the numbers and don't understand what you're fighting for? Sometimes things aren't worth the hassle you create for everyone around you just because you want to make sure you prove the point that you're in charge. That's the flavor it has. It's what it feels like, what it smells like, what it seems like. Actual number. How much per month are we going to save on the housing cost for prisoners? Well, we don't know till it goes into effect. Sure, go back 3 months, take the numbers, look at them, and apply these new rules to it. And I use new in air quotes because there's only one change. That one change that all of this was about. We stomped our little foot and promised to hold our breath until we turned blue unless we got our way. Well, this is our way because everybody's all on board with this now. So, you go back the last 3 months and you take this one change, this rule, and apply it to that case. How much money would the city of McComb saved on the housing of prisoners? Don't want to hear, well, we got to put it in place and see how it plays out. No. You don't go through all of this. You don't get it to a point to where the sheriff of Pike County says, I'm not taking your prisoners anymore. I'm done with this. Find somewhere else to take them. Without having some knowledge of what the result is going to be from you doing that and pushing things to that point. And if you don't know what that result will be, well, you have acted foolishly, in my opinion. So what's the number? I want to hear the number. We just paid a bill. We just paid a bill last week on Monday. That's what started all this, just over a week ago. So that bill, if this rule were in effect, how much money would we have saved? How much lower would that bill have been? That's not that difficult to figure out. So figure it out. If you're doing such a great job, I would think you'd want to brag. You would shout it to the high heavens how much money you saved the citizens of the city of McComb. The problem is, if it comes in, it's $1,000 or $2,000, nobody is going to care, and you're going to look even more ridiculous than you do now. So it better be impressive. It better be a big deal. The result must be equal to the confusion. Will be nice. Chaos is the word I wanted to use. That was instituted as a result of trying to get our way. What's the result? In a city with a budget of over $12 million, if you did all of this and got us to the point to where everyone was upset, we weren't having any place to put our prisoners, of which we have plenty in the city of McComb, and we find out that I'm going to save about $2,000 a month, so in a budget of over $12 million, we're saving you about $24,000, $25,000 a year. That's a big deal. Not that big of a deal. So let's hear the number. Brag about that result that you're getting. I want to see it. But it has to be impressive. And we could figure out, based on our previous bills, the last one, again, paid 1 week ago yesterday, because they've paid every bill. Should be easy to figure that out. How much are we saving? And was it worth it? Not that that information will change anything because, well, we have Democratic leadership. Again, I refer back to the federal government shutdown. I refer back to what happened in Washington over the last 2 months. And what did they get for their trouble? What was the result? What boon were they granted for shutting everything down for over a month? Something that had already been offered to them, and they said no. Has a lot of the same flavor as what's been going on for the last week with the city of McComb and the prisoner situation. Gonna fight unless I get this. Well, here, you can have that. No, I want to fight. Yeah, it's mature. Well, we got down to the end of the ad, just a little over an hour long. Now, of course, there were several stretches in there where we had to wait while another member of the board that wasn't notified of the special surprise emergency called meeting found out what the phone number was and dialed in. So it wasn't a full hour of discussion, but it was close. It was very close to a full hour of discussion on this last night. And finally, after there was a motion to table it after all of this, which failed. Then they went back to consider this again, and we got the final vote.
All in favor of approving the terms of the Pike County Sheriff Department for jailing detainees, say aye.
Aye.
Aye being Selectman McKenzie, Selectman Mullins, Selectman Cotting, Selectwoman Baylor. Aye. Selectwoman Baylor. Selectman Thompson.
Nay.
Nay. Selectman Thompson. And Selectwoman Isaac.
Nay.
Nay. Ayes have it.
4-2. Final result. Have you ever seen someone riding a bicycle and the chain comes off? It happens sometimes. Chain comes off of the gears. And you can pedal all you want and you're not going to go anywhere. That's an awful lot what the behavior of the leadership in the city of McComb seems to be doing. They're pedaling like crazy. Look how busy I am. Look how hard I'm working. And they're not going anywhere. I would like to point out there is one exception to that. Even if the chain is off the gears on your bicycle, no matter what speed you're pedaling at, fast, slow, whatever, you can definitely make some progress and build up a good head of steam. As long as you're going downhill.
If you cry out for more, if you reached out for me, I would run to the storm just to keep you here with me. I have gone beyond my
So yay! After a week of stress and turmoil and chaos and confusion, finally got a vote last night after hard negotiations to get basically back where we started. Good job. Again, how much? Before you come back, no, this was important. Okay, how important? Put a number on it. We're talking about money here. How much? If you don't have that answer, what were you arguing about? If you do have that answer and it's not impressive, what were you arguing about? Final break. Let's close it down after this. On SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5 on a Tuesday morning. Keep it here.
Tired of living with an overactive bladder? Constant trips to the restroom and sudden leaks don't have to disrupt your life. Axonics Therapy at Southwest Urology Clinic offers a long-term solution helping you regain control and confidence. This advanced FDA-approved treatment is safe, effective, and designed to fit your lifestyle, and best of all, it's right here close to home. Take the first step toward lasting relief. Call Southwest Urology Clinic at 601-250-4344 today to learn more about Axonics Therapy, because confidence starts with control.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing
That'll do it. I don't know if you're keeping up with what's going on to our south in Louisiana. Over the weekend, as you know, Louisiana holds elections on Saturdays. Well, they had several props on the ballot for citizens to vote whether or not to basically raise their own taxes, to fund law enforcement, to fund government, all of that. And the sheriff got a little salty Saturday night when it became clear that it all failed, and issued a statement on social media very truthfully saying that they only have 9 deputies to work the over 120,000 people in the very large Tangipahoa Parish. And they will continue with 9 because they're not getting any additional funding. Also had the mayor-president of Baton Rouge, Sid Edwards, issued a statement. He started budget cuts, letting people go. He's already let 4 people go. All departments are going to have to let people go. So I assume you were running in a deficit. I assume you were spending more money than you were bringing in, because if we don't increase the money, we can't keep doing what we've been doing with the number of people we've been doing it. That's what we're being told there. Show of hands. Who would vote right now in this economy to increase their own taxes, no matter how good the reason? That could not have been a surprising outcome, I wouldn't think. We saw the hoopla in Pike County when we talked about raising the millage rate to build a new jail, which of course is not relevant at all to what's going on right now. Have a wonderful Tuesday, will ya? We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06, my friend. I'll see you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.